Recording. A wonderful good afternoon in my time zone. Is it a good evening, good morning? Welcome to our second touch point for August for Digital Speak Up, and we hope you are in a good place. It's a short session, it's 1 hour, but we have a few nice things. I hope you'll tell me, are they nice or not, planned for today. We know that the last month's session was very technical, and I feel it was good, what we needed to log into the platform. But we said that today we won't focus on the technical because it's not a purpose to have technical sessions only, but to inspire, to bring new content, to listen to each other. So of course, if you have any technical issues, you're still facing problems going into the platform or inviting participants, do write in the chat. Ollie is going to make sure we record everything and that we can come back to you. But today we really want to talk more about using Speak Up from the facilitation perspective, from the user perspective. So this is what we've planned for today. Orly, anything you wish to add?
Welcome everyone, nice to see you, some familiar faces, some new faces, and enjoy this session. And I'm here if you need anything, just write me in the chat and I will try to help you.
Thank you so much. And I'd like for us to start with a short pose. But again, it's only an hour and it's not music, now listening and relaxing. But I want us to shift our energy, to be present, to feel that, we've come to this space for an hour, to stop the emails, the distractors, the telephones, the messages. So I invite you to close your eyes so that no one's looking, and take a deep breath through the nose and hold it inside for a few seconds, out through the mouth when you're ready, and just connect to yourself. Ground. Take another deep breath in, out. Now I invite you to just take your hands and do a slow shaking motion, with your fingers, just to shake everything off, just to feel your body. If you're sitting on the chair, you can slightly shake your feet, whatever works. Do some jiggling movements, but just short, but to feel grounded, present, here. And when you're ready, invite us to open our eyes. And I hope we're present in this moment. And just again, as always, be aware. How am I feeling? Where am I feeling? And especially on the body level, what is my body telling me? And before I begin, I would love to take this time to also hear you. And firstly, just to check, to ask, and remember, there's no right and there's no wrong answers, and it's don't feel guilty to anything, just in case if anyone is Polish. Sorry, Isa, but Polish people, we love to be guilty, or maybe it's just me, but it's not about bringing now guiltiness. Oh, I didn't do something, but it's just more to check where we are, to understand. So first of all, I want to check who's been working with Speak Up. If you've been working with Speak Up, if you could raise your hand. Okay, few hands up. Super great. Who's working with Speak Up Digital? More hands up. Yay, not yet. Okay, but I see some face-to-face. Anyone who'd like to share? From first start with Speak Up Digital. Anyone wants to share anything, how the work with Speak Up Digital is? What are you liking? What are you not liking? Again, anything you feel you want to share, to bring, something you've noticed, maybe something that works, maybe some questions. Let's open really to hear from the experience of those of us who've worked with Speak Up. digital? How is it? And remember, it's points of view, so just unmute yourself and don't be shy. And if you have some, and you know, if you feel it somewhere, it's going to be inspiring for everyone. So not everyone at once. Welcome to those who joined.
Well, hi everyone. I can share because I've been using it since the demo version. Well, what I noticed is that people get very enthusiastic when you share your screen, and the first circle, the centerpiece comes in with all the gimmicks and turning, and everybody likes that and asking what it is about. And then we can also explain about the tradition of points of view of having a centerpiece, and now we created it digitally. And this is really nice. What I noticed also when using dialogue starters, what really helps is to be very specific and really be very clear about the goal, because people lose interest faster. Their attention span is less than what it is with the physical toolkit when they have the cards in their hands, when they need to write with the marker on this game board that we created. So for digital, it takes a little bit of extra effort and attention from the facilitator to really bring people in back in the process all the time. Thank you.
Wow, wow, thanks, Branka. I think that's a very good tip. I think for everyone to just note, we all know the objectives to be clear, but in digital to make it even more precise. And it's a good one, I think, to remember, not to lose them. Thank you so much, Branka, for jumping in, being the first. Anyone else wants to add anything, share even?
I have a question.
Yes, hi, Isa.
Hello, everyone. I love you. You know about it, I hope. And remember, the last time when we were meeting, it was question from someone from the group that it's possible to make something that on the digital version was like a tip, some special function that we can got all cards face down or you know, that we don't see the picture in this way, if it's possible, because for some people it's easier to use the intention when they don't see the picture and they don't have something like a suggestions, yes, what they choose. Because you remember when we are sitting in a circle, when we try working with our analogy version of our card and our processes, is easier because people can decide if they only want to get this all when they vision all pictures or when they see only the back on the deck on the card. Yes, so you can trust your intuition what you want. And it was the question from the last time. Do you know if anyone start thinking about if it's possible to make on that way or no?
Honestly, it's not in the priorities of the development
I
side. There
understand.
are some more urgent things I'll share later what's coming up. So at
Okay,
the moment, we are keeping this space
but I
with,
believe that you got it in back in your head. Yes.
yes, we do, and I also know that we are also another our reason why we're asking the question to share the
Okay.
tips. It's also to understand how to make it user friendly, that we are not lost. Because as you said, in the analog, it's easier. I just cover the cards,
Yeah.
and now I have to bring to the digital and explain. And if someone doesn't understand points of view, we wanted to make it simple. So it's definitely in the back, but when is it coming? I don't
Okay. I
know.
deeply believe that you give us any information about it. I trust.
Exactly. If once we'll know it, once it will be happening, we'll let
Yeah.
you, everyone know. But that's why I'm saying it openly. It's not even in the priorities in the moment.
Okay, so I follow the process. I don't disturb. Thank you.
Thanks, Isa. Anyone else would like maybe to share about using Speak Up, maybe face to face, also not only digital? I'm quite sure there's some good stories there. Yes, Catherine, thank you.
Okay, so I tried several times. It was a part of a workshop I do with manager in a company. And so I changed a little bit my program to use SpeakUp. And what it was really funny because we have just like 30 minutes, so it was quick. Is that the first, so we didn't choose an old program, an old process, but just answering one question. It was enough. And now it was in three tour. I don't remember. Yes, because what I did, first tour, I did it face up. So they choose the card and they really enjoy it. They were a little bit surprised, of course. They know point of view, so, but they were a little bit surprised. Second time, I mixed. So they could do whatever they want. And third tour, I put face down all the cards. And they just enjoy the last one. Maybe because they know a little bit of the card, but they really enjoy what they prefer. What they really prefer is the tour face down. And what is really funny is one of them choose the same card the 3 times, even yeah, the same card, and it was very funny. So, but it was really, really interesting, really intense. They did a lot of things with the other game before, so they're used to that, but they really enjoy it. They found it very powerful to, it was, you know, the end, how can we work in good collaboration. So it was the end of the path of the day, so it was nice. So that's my feedback.
Super nice. Glad to hear it. Beautiful story. Thank you, Catherine. Anyone else would love to share? And just answering to the chat, this is more for inspiration, exactly for those of us who haven't worked yet with Speak Up, to inspire us, maybe to give us the motivation to try it out. So remember, it's our sharing, and don't be anyone modest. I think I don't have anything smart to share.
Maybe I can jump in with the question.
Yes, please.
I will facilitate the workshop in September, a digital one. I'm preparing the process and everything. So I'm super curious, and it would be super meaningful to me if you would share like a tips and tricks or something that, you know, like I can prepare myself in advance for you who already did the digital or whatever face-to-face tools. Like anything that you said, it's super useful.
You see, thanks, Giovanna, for the question. Thank you so much. And I feel we have so many experts here. So I will also share mine, but would love also to hear from the group. And I know it's very broad, but maybe again, if anyone has 3 tips, what comes to your mind. And we are lucky because we have Branka and Ringo who were in the development team. So as Branka said, even before the prototype was ready, she was working with Ringo on Speak Up. But we also have many facilitators who are working a lot. And I know Christine, Catherine, Corinne, I know you're doing a lot, also Zoe. So no hiding. And if you're also working, and Kika, I'm quite sure you're also doing a lot. And if I haven't called your name and you're doing it, it's also your time to show up. So please, what are your tips? Anything that you feel is important?
For me, Giovanna, the important thing is to have clear and precise the flow, the structure of your workshop. Your question first. what you want to happen with your participants, to be clear and precise about your objective. And next, you can think about if it's better face up, face down, or you will use it. But the first thing for me is to be so clear and so precise with your 2-3 questions you will use, and the objective, the goal, where you want to go with them.
Thank you. So from Christine, we have be precise with what you want to do and really know what you want to have the flow. Branka said earlier, and I'm repeating it, so we all remember to also, it's linking for me with the precision that we know, so that we also are able to grab and contain the concentration span of our participants. What else anyone wants to add?
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Corinne. Good to hear
You
your
hear me?
voice. Yes.
Thank you. Yes, I would like to point out there is something in our behavior as a facilitator with the previous experience we already had, as Catherine mentioned, with the tools that maybe the public there knows already or not. I wouldn't add what has been said about the precision, but also the fact that you leave the space to people to speak up. Okay, so it's very important to have this in mind, not only in our timetable, but in your behavior as facilitator, to leave this space enough to leave people. Of course, it depends on the questions, on the public, on the time, but the behavior for me is definitely very important. As a welcoming and open, and at the beginning, confidential, blah, blah, respect. So people feel free to speak up. If I would say, even if I've not so many experiences already, but I've noticed this sometimes.
Super. Thank you so much. So powerful.
Okay.
And
yeah.
I'm even thinking to add, and then Catherine, you go, we want people to speak up, but we to plan to have time that they speak up, because I can even share with an Orly knows, we're doing webinars, and once in a while we have this mess that we're talking about sharing and speaking, but we don't give the space for sharing and speaking. And so to plan time to have it. Thank you, Catherine.
Yes, Karen, is very good observation, and the processes of observing the card is really essential, because especially when they don't know anything about point of view, I mean, they look to everything and really take the time. And even for the first one, especially for the first card they get, they look at the card and take the time and then they say, oh, but so that's the feedback I get. I obtain to say, oh, but at the beginning I didn't see the nail. I didn't see that. I'd say, oh, and wow, it was huge at this time, because they have an idea, and when they look at the cards very deeply, it's really when they get they get, sometimes it's funny because you look at them and they look at the card and you can see on their face that they realize something. and oh, I didn't take this card because of the nail, the one, the fit with the nail. This one is okay, so it changed my mind, and real quickly. And sometimes, which is interesting, is when they've got the card in the end. Okay, they take the card and they're not really happy with it, and you did, okay, just make a little turn, half turn or half turn, and the girl was and she was like, wow, Wow. So it's interesting to be slow, to be cool, slow with the cards. And because we are so used to it, they're not. So it's nice to be cool with that.
Super, thank you, Catherine. That's a very good reminder to use the image and to stay with the image, because it's, as you said, it's obvious for us. We go la la la, but for people it's not. Yes, Branka, I think you have something to add.
Yeah, well, Jovana, I can offer maybe something from technical perspective, the actual execution, the art of facilitation. I leave to you. It's that if you're having a new group that never was in a digital platform, then it's easier because they use their email for the first time when you send them the link on Zoom, and then they directly come to your platform. If some of these participants already use digital platforms, then it's good to send them a reminder a couple of hours before or a day before that they find their email and password so they can log in timely. It's very important because there are two technical executions of how you log in. And secondly, to remind them a day before. I know it's in September, but still, the way the platform it is now, it works for desktops and laptops, so not for small screens. So you need to tell them for the best experience, you need to join from this kind of devices, maybe do a little service. If somebody is on a phone or a tablet, you can recommend them to get to the desktop or laptop so they can actually participate properly. And what helped me at the beginning is that when I'm speaking what I'm going to do, I actually share my screen of my platform because they don't see it exactly the same way. The participants don't have all the functionalities. So you tell them here, this is my library, this is the dialogue starter we're going to be working in. And you see here, this is my members. So now when I copy the link and they can visualize what you're doing. So now when I copy the link, you'll be able to log in and look, now I see you all in my team. So for them, it's also intro to bring that, to hold the space for them, that they're part of the same team and to create that safety net for them. So from technical part, it's good to prepare in advance and to let people know what they can expect. And of course, all the rest, to have a quiet space, to have a good internet connection. But sometimes we take that for granted as well, and it's not there for all people.
Mhm.
And what also works well when you send them to the breakout rooms and they share about the photos, and then when they come back, what I ask them when they're speaking is to share their own screen. So we can all see that card and they can click on a card so it becomes bigger. So then everybody can chip in and say like, we see this on a card, like Catherine said before. A lot of people don't see the nail on that first card. So when everybody chips in with their insights, even if you time permitting, ask them to do it in the chat, a person who has the card, who has the photo, gets many, many more insights at the same time. So the one who is sharing always to share the screen as well at the same time.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
And I will here add that in case they will have a technical issue with sharing the screen, you can also do it from the platform. You just click on this person's process, but do remember to ask, is it okay for you to share their screen? You know, always do the safety space. Don't go sharing it, but when they say yes, then of course we can share it to make it easier.
Great. Thank you.
Orly, I felt you wanted to add something.
Yes, I just wanted to add, especially as when you facilitate digitally as a face-to-face, we know to end the process with what did you take from this process and to give it time and space. But I recommend also to give it time to ask the participant what did they take from the session. For you as a facilitator, it will be very it will have a big impact on you, and it will you will be aware of the things that you don't know during the session that they did in their breakup room or they wrote to themselves. And this is something that I will keep in mind to give space for it. So, and important for you to learn from, and also to feel like the value of the session. That's it.
Thank you, Orly. Anyone else wants to add before I wrap it up?
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Kike. Good to hear you.
Yes, I don't know if my internet is going well. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, I will add one thing before when you explain all the instruction to the participants. Ask if everybody understand, because sometimes for me at the beginning I forgot asking and probably nobody understand all the instructions, so it's very good to ask them, everybody, it's okay, and if they say okay, go to the, for example, when you are going to send them to breakout rooms.
Super, thank you. That also good tip. And I think I want to add, if anyone, of course, has more to say, please do. I'll add from my side, definitely what you think you've planned, you will need less, because we tend, especially in the beginning, I have a feeling, or maybe it's my tendency, but I know we're all givers, so we want to give a lot. And we make all of these processes complicated. And, you know, there's this question and that, and don't. So reduce, always reduce, because in the end, as Catherine shared in the beginning, in the end, one card. Sometimes, you know, that's so enough, and you'll have more added value if I can just share about this one card and explore it, than to rush through 3 or 4 cards. So always really think, what is the essence? You can have, if you're worried that it's not enough, you can have some extra question activity planned in the back of your head, but really less is more, to give them exactly this time to integrate, to jump, because as we said, it takes time to connect to the photo. Exactly, as Catherine wrote, to make it simple. We need time to connect to the photo, to have insights, to share. Even in digital, I feel it works amazing if first I share in a pair. You know, first I do my self-writing, then I share in a small group in the room. Again, depending on the size, you can go for pairs, or if it's a larger group, 3s, but to share in a small group. And then even if I'm going back and sharing in the whole room, it's always adding insights, because it's always adding a layer, it's always inspiring, and not to be worried about it, because, you know, we need the time. And as we said, I won't notice the nail, and only like after the third person suddenly said about the nail, I'll be like, oh, it's really there. So give that time, don't be worried. And another tip for me as facilitators is also to hold our silence, because most of the time we are worried. And, you know, as Kika gave the example, does everyone understand? Do we have any questions? To have time for that. At the beginning of my facilitation, when I'm stressed, I don't give that time. So I'll say, does anyone have any questions? No, good, let's continue. You know, I don't even give you the space to ask that question. I'm just continuing. So do you have any questions? Silence. The silence is worse for us when we're facilitating. So not to be worried. So I hope, Jojo, we got some inspirations, and I hope you will be ready. And next month in the session, you'll share how it was for you. We're really looking forward to that. And having maybe said that, I'll continue to the few things I want to share today. And then we will have, again, in the end, a wrap up of further questions, comments. Of course, if at any time, stop me, ask your questions. This is what we're here for. So 2 news that we have to share. The first one is just an update, because Branka said about the screens. As we all know, we all want to do things on our tablets and phones, but the app isn't working on small screens. However, our developers are promising mid-September, how do you call it, launch of the app on small devices. So hopefully for second half of September, because I'm not going to be that optimistic. I know our developers, you know, I hope no IT people are going to be upset here, but you know how IT works. Carolina works in IT, so she knows. Things happen, but they are really working on it, that from middle of September, small screens are going to be available. And the middle of October, the user, the manager, you as facilitators will be able to create your own layouts and own charts. So again, it's going to make it a little bit easier, because you can prepare your own process and you don't have to ask the people to choose the questions or use from the ones that we selected. And there are many more things planned. That's why I said in the beginning that all cards up, all cards down are not there yet, because we are trying to bring other functionalities. However, having said that, today we are excited to launch 2 things, and I hope they will make it easier for you, and especially for those of you who still haven't done Speak Up, used Speak Up. It will give you that boost, encouragement to try it out, to go ahead for it. As Branka said, I do have a slightly different view. I have a little bit more windows here, and I have a little bit more layout, maps, dialogue starters as we're testing, and some are from different sessions. However, what we launched today is a blank template, but for 1 question. So if you remember, there was a template called Make It Your Own, which was 3 questions, 3 photo cards, 1 word card. Today we are launching the new one with 1 question, because as we said, less is more. And maybe sometimes you don't want to do a whole process. You just want to do just 1 session, 1 question, to make it powerful, to wrap up in a session, or maybe that's what you have time for. So we created this blank. I'm gonna call it test 3. Not very creative, I'm sorry for that. Always choose auto close, then after 8 hours the session will close. And I am opening it just to see. We all know the carousel, the cards, the instruction, nothing changed here, but just to say, here you have space for 1. So for any of the simple ones, it will be easy to use. Please remember that if you choose the question beforehand, like, you have a specific issue, that, I don't know, it's going to be about how your team wants to grow, and this is the question you want to use. Unfortunately, if you choose this card now, when I send you the invite link, you won't have this question. So you'll just have to tell everyone to, for example, the numbers is, please choose question number 2. You can share it on your screen and make sure everyone's using the same question. As I said, from mid-October, you will have the possibility to create your own templates. So it's going to make it easier. But again, I hope that at least this step will make it easier for you to experience processes, to play, to go deeper. Any questions to that, or comments, or anything you want to add?
I think that is absolutely amazing idea, this plank with the 1 question. Because when you start working with the team, yes, and you got the people in a different personality, some of them, when we starting explain a new process, a new tool, when we try to organize the meeting, in the beginning, if they don't know anything about the points of view, they are ashamed, they waiting for another people request for the question, how they give them the information, and they start blooming like a flower. So the first person is always a little in a bad situation, because he give the 1 word on 1 sentence. But the last one know how it works, because it's the experience. When every people, they like baby steps, a little more word. So I think that is absolutely amazing, because it shows that we care about every person in that process. So thank you. It was what I was question about. So you are in my mind, I think. Thank you, guys.
Super. Glad to hear it. And exactly wanted to make it simple. We felt also, free questions, it's a lot. It can be intimidating. So if you tell us that there's even a demand for that, we will design specific dialogue starters for 1 question. And we all know 1 question is enough. How can we grow as a team? And if you have 10 people.
Yes, so I'm thinking that one for the an icebreaker for the first meeting, to show them how the tools is working, is absolutely amazing. Like introduction for the next meetings, when they will be speak about harder problems, yes?
Yep.
First, we can teach them how use this tool, how they can put this tool in their mind and think through. It's hard because first is digital, second is the picture. You should do follow by metaphor for some small details which they don't pay attention in the first moment of that. So if next person will be give them the feedback, the answer for the question, it's like stepping back on the stairs. You are deeper and deeper in every person, yes? So
Yeah.
I thought that is absolutely good. And it's good, remember, it was like a come back to the before you show this one. From my personal experience, like a facilitator of the workshops, it's like a person who was attendance in the workshop too. It's good, don't forget about it, that for many people, when you finish the real workshop, when they come back home, this process and the picture's still working. So I don't know how you're working with your countries, with your companies, but I try when I organize some workshops on process, come back to these people for 1 week after I finish, and I give them something like the session. If you have any more reflection about that, yes? You need any support, you now see everything clearly or not clearly, that don't leave them with open problem, only put them back like a circle, yes? And be sure that everything was spoken, that they know everything, that they feel that we care about them, and we resolve this situation which was hard for us when we start organize this workshop. So it works for me. I don't know how it's for you. So maybe for someone will be useful, for different, no. Thank you.
Thank you, Isa. And a good practice. And this is also a reminder why when we have the physical cards, we're always saying, take a photo of that process, because it's still working, it's still digging inside of us. And it's definitely worthwhile to check in with our participants to see how they feel once in a while. So this is our first newbie, the blank template. And today we are also launching a new dialogue starter, just in case you used the previous 10. And now you want to feel something new. You know, September is coming and it's the end of the holiday season for us. So many of us are gonna be getting more work, and in companies, holiday season is off, new managers coming, new tasks, new projects, and we think it would be a good time to reflect on our roles and what we are doing. And this is why I'm just leaving this meeting. We are happy to launch this digital starter today. It's called Role Reflection. So it's coming from the starting points. So this is like from the onboarding interviews meeting. And by the way, it's also available in the printed version. If anyone wants the physical one, it's also available in the space for that. However, on the digital, just want to share the questions and talk about this layout chart, dialogue starter for a few minutes. Role reflection, used to reflect on one's current role and identify areas of satisfaction and dissatisfaction, as well as discuss important matters to you. And we can take this dialogue starter into two ways. You can use it for your own self-work, and the idea is behind that also managers in their positions, team leaders, HR, anyone can use it for your own self-reflection and the way to become prepared, how to speak with my managers, supervisors, clients, anyone you want. It's that process. But also if you have a team and you want to check in with your employees, how are they doing? You can go and use it. You'll see in a minute the questions. So I'll talk about it, that when you're doing it for your employees, we need to really hold the space. And we talked about it. And really hold the space and build the culture. And again, as we're saying everywhere, to remember, speaking up, this is why we have the culture of dialogue. It's a whole process. If I never listen to my employees, don't expect them to start to speak to me, or if we were cutting them. And again, it's something to pass on to the managers you're working with. Is, you know, we need to be open to listen. We need to be open to hear. We need to be able to not cut. Anyway, this Dialogue Starter still follows our structure of 3 questions, 3 photo cards, 1 words. The first question is, how do I feel in my role? So again, if I'm in my position, and again, as I said, it's in the company, but again, I think anywhere, in any role in your life, you can do it for ourselves, you know. How do I feel as a father? How do I feel as a partner? How do I feel as a son? How do I feel as a coach? How do I feel as a facilitator? And so on and so on. How do I feel in my role? Then we go to the second question of what makes me unsatisfied. Again, we are linking it to what makes me feel unsatisfied in the role that I'm holding, not generally, but to really focusing and to go back to the areas that I'm not happy. And the final question, what is important for me to share? And again, in the idea to share with my supervisor, my manager, anyone who can depend on my role and I can change something. And this is why we said it's a digital starter to build the speaking up of what do I need to speak up about. And I want to say it in 2 sides. On one side, I'm doing this for myself, to remember that it's great to understand what I'm not saying, why am I not satisfied. But if I'm not speaking up to the people who can change it, and I don't take any actions, nothing will change. So it's not the purpose of Speak Up. And as I said, if I'm doing it for someone in my team, like for my employees, also to really give them that feeling that I'm here to listen, that it's okay. Because maybe the areas what makes me unsatisfied are not going to be comfortable to hear. And we're coming to what we said earlier in today's session. It was more about facilitation. Now I'm going back to management and leadership, but there's it. Do I have the space? You know, how often, and I wonder who has this experience, how often are you asked for feedback? And then you see that the person doesn't want to hear your feedback. You know, it's defensive, they're cutting. And then I'm questioning myself in this question, why are you asking me for feedback? And I'm not saying in situations where you have to give, like, you know, as an employee in a yearly review session, but sometimes someone comes to me, hey, what do you think about this idea? And I'm sharing my feedback, and then they're starting to tell why it's wrong. I can share it's in the same way, in a way, with my dad. He's rearranging something in his place. He's showing me 4 options. I said I like the option, probably he likes it the least. And then he's trying to convince me why it should be with the other option. And, you know, and I'm saying that this is my feedback, this is why, but you don't have to convince me. It's your decision how you want to arrange the room. You asked me, so I'm sharing, but I don't have to come to alignment. And so to remember with the feedback, if I'm asking anyone in the team what makes them unsatisfied, we have to work on our role. Am I ready to hear? And maybe that's another idea for another dialogue starter for managers, to do it the step before. Am I really ready to hear what my employees have to say? And what am I afraid of? And how can I make it easier for myself? But this is a few months' time, we will develop it. Anyone can write the questions down. But now we are really we created this dialogue starter as an inspiration for looking at our role, what can make us unhappy in the role, and what is important to share. And again, with the idea coming that usually for most people in a manager situation, I know that for some it's not easy to talk about the positive, but here we really want to focus how I can feel better in my role, how I can make it better. And remember, it's not about making it a complaining session. It's about finding results and making ways to work and feel better. Questions, comments, would love to hear. Opinions. Anyone feels like they want to do this dialogue starter? Anyone feels it's going to be useful for them in their next meeting? I'm also okay to hear that.
It's a really good one. I used something personal, but it's really similar, but I enjoy this new one. Thank you. Useful with face-to-face with one leader, but really useful with a team, as a team.
Yeah, as a team, it could be an interesting one. I agree. I also feel it more that it's like on one-on-one or self-working sessions, but why not with a team? Especially the last question, even to give everyone the voice, what's important for me to share.
As a team leader, which must come to confront other people in the organization. So they must think as one person, as a team.
Super.
Interesting. Thank you, Marek.
Thank you, Husni, for this perspective. Really good one, taking it.
Can I talk? Yes.
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 Always.
Yeah. I'm thinking about. I'm going to do next week a workshop, for my L3 stuff with young people working. So it's really interesting, this one for me, to help them, because they work in different. They're not a team, but as a co-development workshop or to start with something, it's really brilliant. I think it's going to be really interesting, because they just started to work for 6 months, 1 year. So they're new adults, new workers, and especially, I've got my daughter at home at the moment, so it's easy to. So we talk a lot about the feeling, the evolution in the company. So it's really nice. I think I'm going to use it like that. What is important for me to share? I think it's a good one. It makes me funny, but I think it's a very good one. I think, sometimes I'm not very, I said it's not, and when I use it with people, and when I get the feedback and I say, like, it's a very good one. So I'm going to test that next week, probably.
Please do, and tell us if it made them funny. And also, I'm ready to listen if you tell us like what you created here. They don't understand. And
yeah, but I'm going to make another one online, because I never use the version online. So I was exhausted before the holiday. So, but now I'm full of energy. So before you kill me in September, I'm coming.
Yes. So
Okay.
I'll see you in Points of Me. So ready for that. And exactly, by the way, I want to share, I love the idea. It didn't come to my mind as a beautiful team starter. Maybe that's why I put it in starting points. Exactly, when you take a new team and to ask, how they feel in their roles, what makes them satisfied, but really that's what's important to share. I also feel, as you said, it got me excited. Thank you for. Thanks, Zoe, for the comment in the chat. Anyone else would want to add?
I have one question to this.
Yes.
To this process, because I'm working in a company and I got a team leader role. I got a very mixed group of people in different ages, and I see one problem, but it's correctly exactly to my case, because I'm Polish lady. So for me, communicate straight is normal, like a habit. But when I'm working in an English people environment, and a lot of them are pure English people, they don't have something like communication straight in their culture. So they got a problem with any feedback. And for them, it's like they are so disappointed when I try to explain them something straight. They don't understand that it's nothing against them, that it's only to give them the chance to develop their attitude. So I try to find a way how to do it on that way that they don't treat the feedback like something want to punish them. Maybe this one will be work, but I still feel something like a feeling that it's not exactly that one, what for the first trade they will be treated like something positive. only like a judgment. So if anyone will be got any tips how to do it with someone that you cannot communicate straight when you see something, what does it work, I will appreciate it. I don't want to kill the discussion, sorry.
No killing. I'm curious if anyone has anything to say, to add, ideas.
I can say something, Isabella. I also work a lot of times with management level and teams. I think the strength of points of view is not to speak about others. It's about speaking about myself. And what I always do is, and it's what we also do in points of view, you know, it's we put them in pairs. So if you want that you communicate openly, put them in pairs and let them share. How do I see my role, and what makes me unsatisfied or dissatisfied? So then they speak about themselves, and only with one person, so they are in a safe space. And then at the end, they can share only one thing, what was the most important insight. And it could be an insight from one of the partner they had. It could be an insight from themselves, but it's a little bit anonymous. So it's not this straight, but it's also deep. So maybe that is more the safe space you are looking for. And because I also have this experience, when you ask this question in a group, you always have two people, they speak always. It doesn't matter do they know or not. You have always three people, they don't say anything. And you have four people, they are like a little flag, no? Who has the better arguments, they say yes. So, and this is why you always should use working in pairs or in small groups, maximum 3 people. So you have a safe space.
Thank you. I don't think on that way, but I think that it should be very useful. Thank you, darling.
You're welcome. Malek, I like the process. I also see it as a nice process to do, for example, after 4 weeks when I'm new in the team, to get a talk with my supervisor. Like after 4 weeks, no? How do you feel? How do you feel in your role? What makes you dissatisfied or something like this? So it's nice. I have a technical question. Is it now the right place for this, or?
Yeah.
Because I saw it in your screen, and I also see it always when I use my screen. I mean, I do a lot of workshop processes to show the digital version. And it's nice to have always the CRM, what I did in the last months. But sometimes it would be nice also to delete some of the old processes as a master facility, or how to say, no? Because sometimes I tried it with a family member, sometimes I tried it with a previous boss, and yeah, I get lost in all this library.
I agree. For everyone, what Ringo is talking about, it's, as you know it, I'll share it because I think it will, thank you, Ringo, for raising it, because I think it's an important one. You'll see my mess now. So that's exactly what Ringo is saying is, I will, as you see, when you leave the meeting, when I exit the meeting, you go straight away to the page with all your meetings. And as you see, all the meetings appear. And for me, I have tests and tests and tests because that's what I'm doing mainly on this account. So this is what Ringo's saying about that it suddenly becomes a mess, and there will be meetings you'll want to come back to and others which we started. So yes, this is also in the pipeline for development, that, and I hope September, October, the latest, you'll be able as a manager to delete the meetings. The technical issue why it's taking so long, because we may think, come on, it's easy, I just delete the meeting. The issue is that the users also have views into their sessions. So, you know, if I opened it today, if I would share the link to the session, you also have your link and you have your notebook, and they're trying to figure out how to do it that it stays with the person and you have it gone, or they will decide that it's being completely gone. So this is why it's taking so long, but we definitely want to keep that you're able to delete the sessions, because I agree it makes a mess. Even sometimes, you open something just to look at it, and then you have a lot of tests. But hopefully, most of us now don't have so many meetings yet to be clearing, but it's in the pipeline. So I didn't answer it, but I hope I shared something.
Thank you. Amazing.
Okay, thank you.
Marek, may I have a question?
Yes.
Okay, maybe I know the stupid question doesn't exist. Okay, but maybe it's a possibility to make something like create the space when we can, I'm sorry for this comparing, use each other like a guinea pig, that you told that, okay, guys, I will organize the workshop and I want to test my idea how I can do it. It's possible that I can use our members like guinea pig or the testers for this idea, because you got idea or something fantastic, brilliant in your head, and you think that you know how it should be. But when you start working with the real participants, like 5 people, 6 people, and you make the round, they can give you this weak point of this, or what I don't think about, what doesn't work for others. So I'm not sure if you follow me or not, if I'm not enough wise to make the proposal like that one. But I think that will be nice to create the space when you can got like a advertisement that, hello guys, I one of the member of this points of view, I want to test something. If someone can make it for me, that I was better prepared for my real workshop and be participant in that one. I don't know. So if you can tell something, I will be grateful, because I think that for me, it will be like a develop for my process, for my thinking. And I really appreciate every people who got more experience than me and they can teach me. Yes, because, if I do something myself and put them and I want to take the money for this, what I want, and I make mistakes, sometimes don't look not professional. So better it's test the bad moment with someone who I trust that they don't kill me.
Exactly. So I understand, and I feel our tribe space is really the best place for it. If you have any idea, anyone has any idea and they want to test it, I'm quite sure if you write it in the tribe space, hey, I want to test this, it's on this topic, who'd like to join, and maybe there will be people who have similar ideas, and it's possible to connect. So the tribe space can be used for that. Orly can say yes or no if I'm saying something too far. And
it
also,
sounds like, sorry, Mark, it sounds like a good idea. And even maybe we can think about creating like a monthly or open session that you can come and bring your ideas and to see how it works, and anyone can join and be your like testers.
Exactly. And if it's an even bigger session and it's like really more prepared, but we still want to try it out, then you can also contact Orly and we can do it as a event in the tribe space. It will be an hour.
It's a new tool. It's a new tool, yes. But when we want to facilitate something, we want to be seen like professionals. It's better to make some testing with people we can trust, and they are on the same boat like me or you. Not
yes, but that's what we're saying. You can write here, you can write in the tribe space, but also, as I said, if you feel, again, it's still testing, but you want to share an idea, you can write to Orly and we can organize it in the tribe space, that we're doing a free session for anyone to come. And again, it's in the tribe space, so it's only people from the tribe who are coming there. And to go ahead. So our tribe space is there, and I'm quite sure you'll find the topic and someone will come to test it. So definitely worth a try. Thank you so much. And I want to thank everyone. I see a lot of people already started leaving because it's the full hour, but thank you so much for coming today.
I think Catherine wanted to tell something because she was.
Okay, sorry. I thought she was waving.
No, I was thinking about what you were saying, Isabella. If I do something with you, I'm going to say, oh, that's good, or that's cheat. That's it. Yes. You know, I'm a little bit Russian so I go directly. So I'm not, you know, if it's good, I say it's good. If it's not good, I say, oh. So
It's absolutely what I expect.
yeah, yes, I know.
So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for this session. Please, as always, we have the forum, we have a space, write your comments. If there's anything you want from us more, need in these sessions, you know, let us know, because again, we are co-creating that these sessions are meaningful for you. That's most important for us, and that it's worthwhile. And in the end, hope you have the courage to try, speak up with you, with family, friends, in your next meetings, workshops. Thank you, everyone, so much. Have a wonderful rest of the day. Enjoy August, and I'll be seeing you in September. Fresh after points of me. So I'll see Catherine and Zoe there.
Bye, guys. Thank you for today.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Nice to see you. Bye.
Yes, see you